So, as I mentioned, this meditation this morning uh, is about welcoming. And Kin asked me to help guide the group today on meditation. So, the welcoming, just to give you a background of the information about what welcoming is when we talk about meditation methods, these are just skillful means. And to me, the welcoming part of it is akin to a combination between mindfulness and equanimity. The word welcoming itself is a pointer and need to look at just what welcoming is. It's just about the feeling of release that comes with welcoming. So if you would open your eyes for a moment, I just want to describe this. Welcoming is just every phenomenon has the beginning, rising, and peak or plateauing, and then passing, dissolving. So we every phenomenon, whether it's feeling, emotion, perception, thought, etc., there's beginning and there's the end. The only thing that has no beginning, no end is just a nibbana experience, probably nibbana itself. Everything else has beginning and end and peak. Sometimes the peak feels like a long time. But even with that, with every wave, there's small wavelets. And then if you expand it, each wavelet has tiny, tiny wavelet also arising, passing, arising, passing. So it's been described that at the blink of an eye, there are trillions of wavelets arising, passing, arising, passing, arising, passing. It is similar to what we would experience or we would be described in a subatomic particle wavelets. And that happens so often. So it's in the experiential level, it's just we see the arising and passing wavelets. So there's a rising and the passing. So in the gross level, whether we feel the experience of the emotion that I will guide you through, is that there's a beginning, whether it's experience of love, metta, or the experience of something like grief or frustrations. And there's a beginning of it, and then there's the end of this thing. So normally we think about just the beginning of it as it's arising, plateauing, and then dissolving, passing away. We talk about letting go, letting go, letting go, this part of it. The welcoming part of it is more related to this part of it during the arising. So we welcome whatever thing's happening in here and during the plateau phase or during the peak phase. And similarly, it is two sides of the same coin of what letting go is on this side. So welcoming is in a way the same or similar, the other side of the coin of the letting go. So as we know, meditation is about letting go. So welcoming is just a different way, skillful means of meditating, of letting go. So by welcoming, it can be done as a means of the intention from the mind standpoint, where welcoming the sensation of the body or the thoughts or the emotions, or we can also welcome the bodily feeling, especially when we deal with emotions. Emotions, what drive the thoughts, and the emotions are best felt in the body. And if you welcome it in that sense, you can feel the release every time you welcome, just like my guided meditations for the forgiveness or the beyond self. It's all related to embodied experiencing in the body. When you welcome it, you can welcome it through the mind alone, or more powerful oftentimes is welcoming, and you can feel in the release of the body that somewhere in the chest, in the abdomen area, you can feel the release, the release, the release when you welcome. So at the first part of this meditation, I will guide you through this, the different levels of emotions and different levels of consciousness that Tin went over several weeks ago. This is the chart from Dr. David Hawkins in the book that he called The Power versus Force. And we will do that thing. So if you can welcome it, and I will guide you, just could you welcome it? And if you could just internally kind of say yes, at least the intention of having yes to it, it will help with the release process. So, and I thought at the beginning of this meditation, I would guide you through these levels from the lowest vibration scale to the highest vibration scale of this emotion, especially in the time of holidays, where a lot of people meeting with the family have brought up a lot of feelings and emotions. So we'll start with that. You can have your eyes open or you can have your eyes closed. And then toward the latter part of this thing, we can get into like the free flow of welcoming whatever thing that arising in this moment. So we can do that. And so that's just the description of what the welcoming process is. So let's just begin. Just sit comfortably and in any position that you like, as long as your body is comfortable. And this welcoming meditation itself can be used throughout the day at any time, any point, in a sense that the equanimity. And one last point is this: the welcoming process is the metaphor is like if you are seeing or noticing the person who greets the customer at Walmart. The person just welcomes whoever is passing through the door. And whether the person that the guest that's coming through the door is happy, uh, or is the frustration, or is the anger, or this anxiety, or the peace, or the love, the person who greets that just greets, welcome, welcome to Walmart, welcome to this store, welcome to this mine. And then he doesn't interact with the guest, allowing the guest to just stay as long as the guest wants, or as short as the want. Some guests just come in and out, in and out. Some phenomenon just come in and out. Some linger, appears to linger for a while, but lingering also like in, out, in, out, in, out, a lot of wavelets. And then in the end, they just leave. So the role of that greeter in Walmart is that to just simply welcome when the person comes in and let go and the person gets out. So you're just welcoming, focusing on the process of the welcoming, and do not interact with whatever is happening in there. Just welcome. And then not interacting means it's the equanimity part of it. Okay? So that's what we're doing. And so for the process, just relax for a moment. Take a few breaths and welcome the presence of this moment as it is. Could you welcome this moment as it is, right here, right now? And could you welcome whatever is being experienced in your mind in this moment, whether they're thoughts, perceptions, emotions, or any other mind content? Could you just welcome whatever exists in your mind, in your awareness? All the questions, just an invitation for you to internally or intentionally say yes. And could you welcome in this moment whatever that's being felt in the body? Any feelings, any sensation, any input from any of the five senses? Could you simply welcome whatever is being experienced in the body in this moment as best as you can? Could you welcome the feeling of your back against a chair if you're having a chair in the back? Or could you welcome the sensation of your body on the cushion or on the chair. Could you welcome also any internal sensations or whether there's any feeling of comfort, discomfort? Now let's focus more of what's in the body. I'm going to bring up a list of feelings and emotions. Just let's start with could you welcome any of memory relating to a feeling of or emotion of shame? Anything in the past, a memory that could bring up the feeling or emotion of shame, embarrassment. This is perhaps one of the lowest part of the vibration of the emotion. And notice the feeling. Could you welcome the feelings associated with that memory of a shameful memory or a memory of shame? Feel it in the body. If you cannot feel it in body, it's okay. Just the mental construct of that. Could you welcome that as best as you can? Just welcoming, allowing the feeling, the emotion, the sensation to arise and pass. Just simply observe in the welcoming itself without interacting, without trying to manipulate it. That's the equanimity, by just welcoming and allowing the process to complete itself, the arising of the feeling associated with the memory, and in the passing. We don't even need to let go. Letting go is a spontaneous process. As we welcome the process itself, the passing away, the dissolving happens spontaneously. Everything that arises will dissolve, will pass. And notice as the feeling passes, also the release in the body. Some of you may feel it, some don't. It's okay. You feel it, notice the release in the chest and the abdomen area. Now let's bring up another memory of shame that you've experienced in your life, whether it's from childhood, adulthood, to happen 20, 30 years ago, or just happened yesterday. If you can bring up the associated feeling also, sensation in the body, could you welcome that? And just note it, just welcome as they arise. And just notice the feeling may plateau or peak, and it dissolves just by the welcoming. If need be, could you welcome it some more and welcome it more and even more. Just the intention of welcoming, and then just letting it be. welcome. Let's bring up another level of emotion called guilt and regret. Allow yourself to bring up from a memory in the past of a feeling of guilt or regret. Could you welcome that memory as best as you can? Just welcome it without doing anything else, without trying to push away or without trying to hold on, grasping. And could you also welcome the associated body sensations, feeling, wherever it might be experienced? Could you welcome that as best as you can? Just welcome. Welcoming like with an open arm. And allowing the energy to simply pass through you. As though the body is made of very permeable, very loose like cheesecloth that everything can pass through. So let the energy pass through. Would you welcome whatever is being experienced in this moment associated with the memory of guilt and regret? If the feeling has dissolved, would you bring up another one? The guilt or regret? Could you welcome love? And if it's still there lingering a little bit, could you welcome the same one even more? They're usually not exactly the same one, different parts, different waves, different wavelets. Could you welcome all of it, whatever is being experienced in this moment? Could you simply welcome what is being experienced in this moment? Next is apathy. I'd invite you to bring up any memory or feeling of apathy. Apathy is that of an indifference, very different from equanimity, where there's balance. Apathy is like when you can't deal with this thing, you're just being indifferent. Very low level of energy and vibration as well. If there's anything in your life that you can remember of the sense of apathy, could you bring up that feeling? And could you welcome whatever that arises associated with apathy or a memory of apathy in the past? Could you welcome it as best as you can? Could you welcome it even more and more and even more? Whatever mind, perception, thought, mind content, or the body formations, the bodily feelings, the body sensations associated with apathy, could you welcome all of it as best as you can? In the periods of my silence, you can also welcome whatever is, if there's any turmoil happening within your mind or within your body, welcome it. Simply welcome whatever is arising in this moment without trying to resist it, without trying to push it away, to just welcome whatever is arising, moment to moment to moment, experientially. Next, we'll invite the energy of grief. Whatever that you grieve in the past, grieving is associated with a sense of loss, whether it's a loss of an object, a loss of a pet, a loss of a relationship, a loss of financial gain, or a loss in life, such as death. Every losses is in some way a death, the end of something. We're grieving the end of something because we're grasping. We're trying to hold on to something that is already gone. So let's, instead of resisting that, could you welcome that feeling of grief? Grief means we're holding on to this. If we're trying to resist that holding on to it, it tends to hold even more. The grasping tends to be tighter. So could you simply welcome any feeling, sensation, emotion, perceptions, thought associated with any of the memory of the grief, of the loss? Just welcome without any resistance, like with open arms. Welcome, however long they want to stay. But the intention is to welcome and allow the process to complete itself, allow the energy to be allowed to come up, express itself, and dissolve. Because it's a law of nature. Everything that arises will pass. The same thing with this energy that's been cooked up that we've been holding on to for a long time. Whatever that we're grieving, whatever is being experienced associated with this grief, whether it's in the mind or in the body, could you, just for now, in this moment, welcome whatever is being experienced as best as you can, as best as you can, right here, right now. Could you welcome even more and more and more and even more? And allow yourself to bring up another sense of grief, another memory of grief, if there's any. Or if the previous one is still percolating, would you welcome anything as being experienced in this moment associated with the grief, with that memory and experience of grief itself? Could you welcome that as best as you can? And just observe that by welcoming and without trying to interfere with it, without trying to entertain them, without trying to push them away, without trying to grasp onto it, just by simply equanimously welcoming, you will notice and observe as the arising and the passing, the arising, the passing. Everything that arises will pass. That's a law of nature. That's a Dhamma. Next, let's bring up the energy of fear or frustration, somewhat higher in vibration than the grief itself. It's a very strong emotion. That's one of the two major emotions that we feel, fear, and the next one, anger. So the fear itself, fear is something that we take from the past, we project it to the future, and making feel like, oh, something is, some is legitimately the fear of fire, the fear of putting your hand onto the hot stove, etc. And but a lot of them are pathological and give a sense of worry, anxiety for the future itself. So welcome any fear that you're experiencing in this moment, or welcome any memory of fear, worry that you're experiencing for yourself or for others. Any feeling in the body associated with the fear. If you don't feel it in the body, just welcome the overall sense of fear itself, the concept of fear. So could you welcome fear as best as you can, in whatever form that is, here and now? Could you welcome that as best as you can? And could you welcome anything that you're experiencing associated with this fear even more and more? Welcome it even more and even more. Next, we'll look at the energy of lust or desire, or craving. Desire by itself is okay, to desire for enlightenment, desire for awakening, the desire for the world to be peaceful. But it is the grasping part of it that's associated with the pathological state that causes craving part of it. But whatever it is, if there's been a memory of any craving, any lustful desire in the past that shows up right now, that I invite you to show up, but you welcome that. Or any memory associated with any craving, desire, but you just welcome. Simply welcome as best as you can. Welcome the thought, welcome the perception, welcome the awareness of it, welcome the body sensation, welcome the feeling. Even the memory may have sound, may have pictures, may have colors, may have smell, taste associated with food and aroma. You welcome all the senses associated with it, not just the body sensation. Welcome anything that shows up in your memory, or welcome anything that shows up in this experience, in this moment. Simply welcome whatever shows up right here, right now. Could you welcome that? Whatever is being experienced in this moment, right here, right now, as best as you can. Could you welcome even more without fighting it? Even it's a craving of chocolate, craving of certain food, or craving, especially with the holiday, whatever it is that has come up in this moment about the craving, could you simply welcome? Just welcome without judgment, welcoming with equanimity, just welcoming, simply welcoming and welcoming and welcoming, and just welcome anything that shows up in this moment associated with the craving as best as you can. Next, we'll look at anger or frustrations, another energy that is very, very strong. It's explosive, associated with a lot of the things that we have tried to push under the radar of our awareness down. So even when we have a very good practice, meditation, sometimes we start driving out there, someone just cuts us off, whatever, and then the anger arises, the middle fingers come up, etc. So it's very, very, very raw emotion coming up. So if you could just bring up an example of the anger or frustrations that you've experienced in your life, or you may be feeling it right now, fresh, let's bring it up. And whatever is being experienced, could you simply welcome that? Welcome that energy of anger or frustration, or maybe the lower level of annoyance, or the extreme of rage. If you've experienced any of this thing, I invite you to just welcome that feeling, that emotion, as best as you can. Welcome it as best as you can. And welcome it as best as you can. Just watch the arising, the peaking of that, or maybe staying plateauing for a while. And one way or another, that feeling will dissolve and start dissolving. The crescendo and then the decrescendo and then going down, dissolving and passing away. Arising out of nothing, passing into nothingness. Just into the field of awareness. To welcome more of this wave of this energy of anger that you're experiencing in this moment, if there's any left. Once the energy passes away, if there's nothing left going on, just welcome the nothingness at this moment. If the anger already passes away and now you're experiencing peace, just welcome the peaceful feeling, whatever is being experienced in this moment. You welcome that as best as you can. Next is the experience of anger. The emotion, the vibration is somewhat higher. The pride after the anger is, it's a pride that border on conceit. There are certain things that are good in a way, that a pride that we accomplish something to reward ourselves, to give the positive reinforcement. But sometimes the pathological side of it is forming conceit and arrogance from the accomplishments that we've done. And every accomplishment is relative. And it's only that, arising, passing. So whatever that pride, conceit, maybe arrogance that we've experienced in our life, could you welcome that energy? Could you welcome that memory? Could you welcome that feeling, that body sensation associated with this pride, conceit, or arrogance? Could you welcome that as best as you can here and now? Then we're moving on to the positive level of vibration energies, the sense of courage and the courage to confront something, the courage to practice despite all the hindrances, uh, the courage to move on, to continue with what we're doing, the positive energy. This positive energy itself can be a hindrance if we hold on to it. And if somehow we become conceited about that. So the courage itself, welcome the energy of the energy of courage. Whatever times that you notice yourself have been courageous, could you welcome that feeling? Could you welcome that energy? Could you welcome that feeling or sensation? Could you welcome that thought, that perception associated with a courageous memory, with the feeling right now? Could you welcome that as best as you can? Notice that welcoming is very neutral with equanimity. So something that is not good for this mind-body being, welcoming allows it to be released. Something that is wholesome and good, as we welcome it, it may be amplified as well. And the whole thing is sometimes there is this subconscious conditioning that we're not even aware of, in which we do not take the positivity very well. Perhaps as during our childhood, we were not encouraged to feel good about our accomplishment, about something that's positive that happens in our life. Not being conceited, but being just feeling good, a positive reinforcement. Wholesome activity, wholesome feelings and emotion. Welcoming amplifies that, allows that to actually grow and be nourished. And at the same time, the unwholesome feelings and emotions to be released. So we're practicing part of the right effort by welcoming. So welcome the next one, which is this feeling of acceptance. The feeling of acceptance. Just remember a time when you're just fully accepting of what is. Fully accepting of what was happening in your life. Good, bad, neutral. And bring up that feeling of acceptance, and could you welcome that acceptance? As we go higher and higher in the vibration scale. Acceptance is a very wholesome thing. In fact, welcoming can also be substituted as accepting. Accepting what is and welcome what is. Could you welcome the acceptance itself, the energy of acceptance, the emotion, the feeling, the memory, the thoughts, perceptions associated with acceptance? and a sense of contentment that comes with it. Whatever that comes being experienced in this moment, would you welcome that? And next, we even scale up on the vibrational level of love, the feeling of love that we're so familiar with practicing loving kindness and equanimity. Could you welcome any feeling of love that shows up in this moment? Just welcome. Welcome it with open arms. Could you welcome that love that's there right here, right now? Our good feelings are often associated with our capacity to love, not our craving to be loved. This is welcoming our capacity to love, welcoming the love that we've experienced, all within us. Could you welcome love that's here and now? As we welcome it, notice the feeling in your body, especially in the chest and the heart space. Would you welcome it as best as you can? Especially after we release by welcoming a lot of the lower energies as we come to the loving energy. It's just like the body is floating so light after we let go of a lot of the heavy stuff. Could you welcome that loving feeling as much as you can, as best as you can, and as much as you do? Next, we look at the experience of joy. I mean, whether it's joy of the piti or joy of the sukha, like the more refined level of sukha. Both piti and sukha are part of the dependent arising, the transcendental dependent origination arising that eventually lead to liberation, vimutti. So welcome any energy of joy or happiness as best as you can. Whatever that shows up as a joy, whether it's physically experienced or just mentally experienced, more like the happiness. You welcome that. Welcome that wholesome feeling as best as you can. And as much as you do, just welcome what's being experienced in this moment. Even the feeling of joy and love arise and pass, arise and pass. We cannot grasp that. That becomes pathological in the end. Craving for the feeling of joy and love. So welcoming releases all of that. You welcome what's here now, and you welcome it as it passes away, and you welcome it as it arises. And the more you welcome it, the more it comes. The wholesome qualities will come by just welcoming the joy that's there. And finally, welcoming the peace, the sense of peace that we've all experienced in deep meditation. Or when we experience a time of beauty in nature. Could you welcome the peace that's here and now? Could you welcome the peace, that sense of ease, and the contentment that come with peace? Well, could you welcome the peace and the equanimity in this moment, right here, right now? You welcome that sense of peace that passes all intellectual understandings, a sense of all is well, needing nothing, wanting nothing. Welcome the peace. And welcome whatever is being experienced. Even peace arises and passes, and arises and passes. Simply welcome. And if there's distraction comes up, just welcome the distraction. And if peace shows up again, welcome the peace. And if any of the lower energy vibration, feeling, thought, sensation, memory come up, welcome them. As you welcome them, peace will show up again. As you welcome and release all of them, eventually all ends up with peace and equanimity. Peace. Just welcome and welcome and welcome whatever arises and whatever being experienced. Now, could you welcome the bell and could you welcome the open eye awareness of this moment? Welcome the sunshine. Welcome whatever is right here and now. Thank you for participating in this meditation.